Hello, good people of Earth. Welcome to one of the hottest podcasts out there, Dad's Turn to Talk. I am your host tonight, Josh, and I am here with my two buddies, Bob and Derek. Derek, let's start with you, my friend. How are we doing tonight?
Well, I was fine until you left out saying hello to the people of Mars and Jupiter. How are they going to feel now?
I know,
Exactly.
and Saturn.
Shame
I
on
think
you.
you could do Saturn. I actually think you could see Saturn yesterday, somebody said on the news. It was pretty crazy.
You really think you can see Saturn?
Yeah, no, they showed it video. It was like the closest to Earth it's been or something.
Oh, good. You saw video. Okay, well, then that works fine. Good.
How are we doing, Derico?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am good. I am hanging in there. Bobo,
Okay.
what about you, my friend? How are we doing tonight?
You know what? I'm doing really well. Over the last week, I didn't actually tell you guys this. I was saving this for tonight, but I actually had a new opportunity that presented itself. And I think that if it works out real well, I think I could cut you guys in on some of it. So I actually brought the information on that, and I wanted to share that with y'all. Is that all right?
Great. Yeah.
Feel free.
I want to thank you all for meeting with me today. What I have here is a script for a Big Thunder Mountain Railroad movie. This is based on the ride at Disney. Now, this is an idea I've had in my head since I was 10 years old. And the way that I see it going is that you have two sets of thieves, one kind of good and the other one really not so good. And you have this big rich guy who's the one that developed the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, but nobody knows about it. I think this movie could star David Harbour, Colin Farrell, Nicholas Hoult, and probably Gerard Butler. I'll go ahead and get the script to you and you let me know what you think. So yeah, I had this idea for this movie, and I pitched it, and I'll let you guys know what happens.
Oh, that was a great idea. I don't know how you figured out all those actors and everything.
Well, like I said, I've had this idea going around since I was 10 years old. It just came to me.
I think it'd be a great movie. I think it would be awesome.
All right.
No, but seriously,
I take you to court, but I got nothing to go with now.
I don't know what happened to last week's episode. It just disappeared.
Good movie. That's awesome.
I figured you guys would get a kick out of that. But
that was very creative, Bobo.
That was great.
Good for you.
See you in the boardroom.
Oh God, that was funny. All right, well, gentlemen, I think we're gonna have a.
Hold on, real quick, Josh. One thing. First off, make sure that for those of you out there, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, comment, let us know what you thought of the show, let your friends know about us. And before we get into the first topic, there is some news that I did want to make sure that we share with our viewers. So I wanted to go ahead and do that. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Feel free.
Welcome, everyone, to the news desk here at Dad's Turn to Talk, and we have some breaking news. We have learned from multiple sources that the Acolyte has been canceled.
Thanks for the good news.
Now, although we here at Dad's Turn to Talk thought this show was an absolute piece of trash, we have learned that one or two Disney Star Wars fans over on social media are upset by this decision. But thanks to our guest panelist, Lily, she has learned that the majority of the fan base is pleased with this decision. By the way, if you haven't given Lily a follow, you can do so at 300 Mirrors over on X. Now, we don't know where Lucasfilm goes after this decision, but I think it is safe to say that no one is going to miss this show. Now, that's the news. Back to our regular show.
So, yes, that's what it was. That's awesome.
So, I just wanted to make sure that we shared that with the audience. And actually, since I put that together, some new stuff is popped out. They've actually removed the Acolyte merchandise off the Disney store.
Oh
man.
It is. Oh, finally they listened.
Anyway, I just wanted put something together because we had powered through the Acolyte to get. Well, maybe you didn't, Derek, but we had talked about that, so I wanted to share that with everyone.
Well,
Yeah,
now none of us have to worry about it. So
it's done. How to screw up a thing? Wow!
And
now
the plug for Lily in the news there. That's always a good thing.
Well, that tweet of hers went off. She had over 60,000 likes on that.
Did she really?
Yeah, and it had over 2 million views, I think.
What was it?
It was just showing like all the celebrations at the end of Return of the Jedi, and she wrote on there the way that the Star Wars fan base feels when they heard the Acolyte was canceled.
Oh God! And now we have Skeleton Crew. I was going to get excited for Andor, but now we got to deal with Skeleton Crew.
Well, you can still get excited for Andor. Oh,
I'm very excited. Did you see Andor, Derek?
I think I watched like bits and pieces. I got to go back and watch that again.
It was very good. Yeah,
you can watch it before the season comes. So you got some time.
Yeah, it was like one of those shows where I tried to watch, but I watched it at night, which is a terrible idea sometimes for me because I'm gonna start falling asleep. It's just the way it works.
I'll be honest, it's a little boring at times. It ran a little slow, but it still overall was very good storytelling and very good writing.
30 minutes into episode 1, and I'm halfway through episode 4 by the time I wake up and go, "Oh, that was a bad idea."
Yeah, it's very character driven, so there's not a lot of action packed episodes and stuff. It's more story driven, but
very good. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we get the show started? A very interesting show we have tonight. Kind of taking us back to our childhood and how we grew up and stuff. So I think people will like it, and please comment when you listen to our show. So why don't we get started with our first topic of the night? As you know, it's the month of August. And what does that mean? School is starting.
I'm never coming back to school! Never!
That was awesome. That was very cool, Bobo.
We're getting a little high tech tonight. So.
Yeah, I know.
I like it.
Awesome. I thought like Saved by the Bell was coming up there somewhere, but I'm not disappointed at all. That was
Derek. He calls me earlier, and just we're going through the show, and I said, "Are you going to play Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield?" He's like, "No." I said, "Oh, Kindergarten Cop." He's like, "No, So he was right.
You'll see. Both of those great movies, though.
Exactly.
That, Billy Madison, great movie too.
Very good. So anyway, guys, we're in August. Back to school has started, and we wanted to give our viewers a chance to kind of talk about when we went to school versus, we all have kids. Derek and I, our kids are younger than Bobo's, and to kind of talk about what it was like when, we went to school versus what it was, what it is now. So, Bob, why don't you start us off? What do you have to say about it?
Well, the biggest difference that I think is that when I was their age, I had to walk to school in the snow.
In the desert snow.
No, there's a lot of changes. I remembered. I actually enjoyed school for the most part. I didn't necessarily like everybody that we went to school with, but I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed most of the classes. I enjoyed the teachers. Yeah. Elementary school was fun. Probably the part I didn't like the most was middle school. I actually enjoyed high school a lot more. Biggest difference that I see is everything's so computer driven now that, the kids, they get their own laptops, where that's not something that we did. We were still writing in cursive and everything. Now they're doing everything on laptops. They're just much more computer, proficient. I hear my kids, like you said, mine are older. So I've got 3 that are out of school, and I've got 2, one who's in his senior year of high school and the other one who just started his freshman year. And so it's interesting to hear them talk and say, oh yeah, well this instructor won't let us use our phones, or this one would. I'm like,
Phones. What are
I
those?
can't imagine what that would have been like with us.
Oh God.
Yeah.
In the 80s?
I just don't see that happening. Heck, I mean, we used to get things taken away from us all the time.
Yeah. Hands down.
So, I don't know. It just feels like it's a different mentality, but I don't see my kids as excited about school as what we were. I felt like we were a little bit more excited. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misreading it. But it also could be because I was playing sports, so I looked forward to going.
We had fun. As you know, Derek, Bobby, and I mean, we've known each other since who we are since first grade. So it's like we literally were in classes together. When did we start? Fifth grade, I think. Was it fifth? For sure, sixth.
Yeah,
We were in school together, but was it fifth also?
yeah. Well, I mean, we were in school a lot longer before that, but I mean, that's when we started having classes together.
Yeah.
And then he and I became real close in high school.
Right.
When we started becoming close.
Yeah. Derek, what about you, my friend? What can you say about it all?
So my experience through school was fairly positive, but I went to private school, so it was a little bit of a different experience for me.
Did you have uniforms?
Up until sixth grade, yeah, I did.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But then I switched schools because the school I was at before, the one I went to high school with, went K through 8th, and then you were done. And then I moved on to another school where I went there from 7th grade, and I finished up my prison sentence there. What you needless to say, based off that statement that I just made, I was not a big fan of high school, but there's something to be said about the fact that you see the same 59 kids year after year after year after year. You know them. There's not much to not know at this point when it comes to them.
Yeah.
Everybody's dated everybody. All those combos have happened. Then you got to start looking at the other grades to see if there's any talent there. And then you finally just realize, like I did the smart way, well, I'm going to go start looking outside of school and see what I can find out in the world. And so that was good. I'd say all in all, my experience was pretty positive. I was a big science kid at school, and I had a really good education when it came to that. So I can't complain. But like Bob said, it is much more computerized now. God, I got yelled at because Dominic couldn't do his computer work on the computer I'm using now to talk to you guys. And I'm
really? Wow.
Wait for laptops now? What is this? And so, but that's the world we live in now. There's part of me that is thankful for that too, because I mean, the internet can be a real scary place, as we all know. And I'd rather they get the training in how to behave themselves now, early on, so they know what the consequences are. Same for devices, same for phones too. But we do a pretty good job watching device time with my two boys as well.
Yeah.
We definitely prioritize like being outside. Remember that? Those were the days.
Oh God.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, you could be gone like it's summertime. Your mom would be like, "Okay, it's 8:30, go," and I don't want to see you until dinner, and you'd be gone all day.
Yep.
And then you finally come back home. Dinner was at 6:30.
Yep.
And you'd be just fine.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about anything.
No.
Well, okay, well, where are you going? I'm going to my friend's house. Okay, you didn't even tell her what friend it was. She just said fine. You just went.
Yeah.
It was.
I used to explore. I used to get on my bike, and I would go. I mean, Bob has been to my house many times. I would go up and down the street, the side streets. I would go down this little, not even a mountain, but there was like a little secret path, you know. So yeah, it was like, now I would never let my kid do that.
No, well, there is something to be said about. I mean, I get you want to try to find the balance. It's like, no, they got to learn a little on their own, but it's like you can't be like, oh my gosh, there's a spot of dust on them. Let's sanitize in the bath now. Like just dump a bunch of Purell in there. No, you can't do that. You can't.
You know, I think we were the last generation to drink out of the garden hose.
Oh, I remember that. Yep. Nothing
The
better.
last generation to drink out of the garden hose, but the first generation to really utilize this.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, like that, I mean, that all came for our generation like that. Now everybody's doing it.
I didn't
We
have
were
a
the
phone
ones that had
until
to make the
college.
switch.
I
What
didn't
was
have a
that?
phone until freshman year of college at U of A.
Yeah, that's the same with me too. I didn't need a.
That's
Well, okay, I think I had a phone in high school, but I never used it. I always just like
yeah,
kept it in
no.
the car if I needed to, call for an emergency or something.
Yeah,
But
no, I
I
don't
didn't want to bother with it.
I remember I had a Sony Ericsson phone for my first phone.
Was
Sounds
it a
about
flip
right.
phone?
Yeah,
Yes, it was.
maybe? I don't know.
It was a flip phone. Everybody had a flip phone.
Yeah, it probably was. I don't. For
I
some
liked
reason,
my
I'm
flip phone.
thinking.
Flip phones it was good.
Yeah.
I had maybe the easiest number ever for
What was
something.
it?
520-661-5999.
I think mine was 915-204-0418.
Still is. Thank you very much.
No, different. But all right. As far as me, I would. It was interesting because we just talked about riding the bikes. The one thing my mom would not let me do is walk to school. She just was always, there were like workmen around, and she was always, nervous. But I remember school being fun. Like I can remember, my first grade class very well. I remember seeing Bob like walking around, and we got to learn so much. I remember we were were we in choir together, Bob, in 5th grade? Was that
No.
something or no? I don't know why. And it was just a fun time. It was a fun time. My daughter loves school. Charlie loves school. It's different though. It's interesting. Now they cover what's called this, social emotional learning at her school. And they definitely try to cater to people who, might have issues. I guess like when we were in school, like people with special ed and everything, it was separate. You would maybe see them in the cafeteria. Now I think some of them are in the classes together, people who might be on the spectrum.
Yeah, Kate has kids like
Yeah,
that.
so it's very different in terms of that. I'll tell you what is really different for us is the math. Oh my God. They literally talk to us about the math. They're like, oh, here's our math homework. And it's like, okay, you have to group these in tens. And we're like, what?
Yeah.
Can't you just add? Oh no, you have to do 10. And then this little thing means a 1. I'm like, what?
Yep. Show your work.
Oh, yeah.
Show your work.
Yeah, show your work. And anyway, what else was I going to tell you guys? But yeah, it was just fun. It was fun. Middle school, I liked. Middle school, I did very well in. It was interesting because we were all together. Bob was there our 7th grade year, and then they opened a new school, a new middle school right by Bob's house. So he ended up going there in 8th grade, and a lot of people did. And 8th grade, I did really well. It was kind of a lot less people there. And then high school was good. There were ups and downs, I'll be honest. But yeah, that's when Bob and I became close. But just so crazy how your kids grow up and, like Charlie, had to get like a composition notebook now. And now we're getting older and all the, before it was like getting markers and that kind of stuff. So, but she loves it. She loves it. And yeah, just amazing how school has changed.
I'll say this. I feel like the standards are lower than what they used to be. The reason I say that, if we failed something, we failed it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nowadays, at least here, they let them retake it.
Really?
If they fail it,
Really?
if they fail it, yeah, they get a retake. And I'm just like, what?
God.
So my oldest daughter, during her senior year, she was failing one of her classes. And so I went to talk to her and tell her that I wanted her to pick up the pace because she was a semester away from college. Well, actually, she was in her last semester. So I was like, next semester you're in college. So I told her, I said, look, you need to start studying. You need to pass this thing the first time. And she tells me, I don't see what the big deal is. I've already retaken everything and I passed it the second time. So everything's good. It's already passing the class. Got to be in the class now. And I was like, you're missing the point.
Right.
You got to pass it the first time, because when you get to college, you're not going to get that second opportunity. And again, she's like, look, I don't see the big deal. And I told her, look, I'm worried about you. And then she looks at me with this bewildered look on her face, and she's like, why? I swear I almost leapt at her. It was like, I understood why Homer choked Bart all those years.
Teased in school.
Yeah, I almost jumped at her. It was like, because I'm your father. That's why. but that's the thing, is that they're given an opportunity to retake the stuff, and I just I don't get that.
I mean, we had extra credit, right? Like you could do.
We did, but it was usually usually it wasn't like an additional assignment or something. Usually it was built into a test or something like that.
Okay.
There is something to be said about that too. And well, my oldest son's school, they don't let you retake anything, but there is definitely more of like a level of, shall we say, comfort.
Yeah.
Like you don't feel the pressure in school, I think, these days. I mean, maybe you feel it in some levels, but like when we went to school, like Bob said, you failed it, you failed it. Yeah. If you had a bully issue, that's on you. You need to deal with that.
You fought.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't have a choice. It was very prison yard.
It was.
In those
very
days.
Different.
That was why I loved dodgeball. Because I dealt with the school bully right in his picture frame.
You
and
did.
I got him right in the nose. And he did not look good.
It's very interesting. I had an issue in high school. I was on the tennis team. Mm-hmm. And there was this guy and I had known throughout all my years of school. And he was not nice. He was not a nice guy. And he did some things that were not good. I don't want to repeat them here. But one of the final straws was I was on the tennis court. We were hitting. And one of my rackets had like just a small crack on it. And just an overuse. And I look over and I see him and this other kid who I knew. And he has a racket and he's bashing it against a pole. And I'm like, what? And I look over and it's my racket. And I I grabbed it, walked away. And one of my friends who got me into Aerosmith comes up and he's like, what's wrong? And I said, look what those blanks did to my racket.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay. The next day I had 0 period.
Gentlemen, just to let you know, I am here. Just some camera problems.
Okay.
I'm here.
No worries.
So anyway, I had what was called 0 period, which was at like 7:30 in the morning. So we had gotten done. And I go to one of the buildings and there are about 7 of my friends, guys who were on the football team, guys who were on the wrestling team, and said, let's go. And you see them running after those 2 guys and they across the parking lot. And the coach ended up stopping us. And to this day, if I ask one of those friends, my friend Omar, I'm like, what would we have done? He's like, oh, we were going to kill him. We were lying. They were toast. And they got suspended.
Yeah.
They got suspended for what they did. And that was it. That was the end of it. But, I mean, here were guys backing me up and we're like, yeah. So
the Allied Forces of Josh Naparsnik.
Oh, God. Then there was the story of Bob, good old Bobo, in elementary school, who broke his arm.
Wow.
He breaks his arm on the basketball court. Huh?
Twice.
Well, I'm not done yet. He breaks it once, and that's it. About a year later.
Less than a year later,
everybody says, did you hear what happened to Bob Smith? I'm like, what? He broke his arm again. Huh? Yeah. And then the stories came out. The bone was puncturing through. He lost consciousness. They had to rush him to the hospital. There was blood everywhere.
That's actually why Bob's not on camera right now. He broke his arm for a 3rd time. He just can't.
I know. And Bob's like, I did not pass out. Like it went through the entire school.
No, literally, I walked myself both times down to the nurse's office. So I don't know where the story came that I passed out.
I don't know. Somebody told me. They're like, yeah, you passed out.
Well, you guys have seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, right?
Oh, of course. Love it.
Well, you know how rumors can get started then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's school, man.
Bob, you've never looked better. I got to tell you. Good God.
Thanks.
Yeah, but there were cool things. I remember getting getting crayons, markers, Elmer's glue.
The supplies run was a good time. I actually
Yeah.
like the supplies run.
I don't know where we
Who
used to
remembers rubber
go.
cement? Shout out.
What's that?
Who remembers rubber cement? Shout out.
Rivers.
Remember that? Elmer's.
I
Come
vaguely
on,
remember it.
you guys know.
Yeah. The Elmer's glue, the washable markers, the
Well,
crayons.
it was I remember the switch from blackboards to whiteboards.
That was much later on. We had like chalkboards all the way through, like until high
Not
school at
us.
least.
No, we had
Really?
them
Well, you
about
were at a
like
fancy school.
yeah. That probably had a lot to do with it.
You were at a fancy school.
Fancy school. I mean, not everybody had the whiteboards, but yeah, a fair amount of them did. I remember the chalkboard in chemistry class because I felt like I had to write on that thing all the time just to
Oh, I
figure out.
hated chemistry. The equation. Balancing the equation. And Bob was awesome at it.
I didn't mind chemistry. I mean,
I love biology.
well, biology was fun too. I took they had us like freshman year. It was kind of crazy. Freshman year science
Yeah.
was conceptual physics. So you had to take physics freshman year in my school.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, it was not easy. Of course, my dad majored in it, so he's just like looking at this like it's kindergarten work. And I'm like, then you can do my homework. How about that? It's not that easy.
I remember our chemistry teacher that Bob and I think Bob was a junior year or senior year.
What was
that? Hey, Mom.
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
What our Mr. Payton was junior year or senior year?
Junior.
Huh?
It was junior year.
Okay. So our teacher was I wouldn't say he was funny, but kind of nerdy, but loved to bird watch.
Oh God.
And we could test him on, but we were so it was me, Bob. Do you remember I used to talk about some of my friends who were the quadruplets?
Yes,
remember
I remember. I remember you talking about
So
them. Yeah.
Ryan was in a class and a couple others, and we would just bust him all the time. But he was such a good guy. We would steal each other's backpacks in class, and of course, this was junior year. We were starting not to really care.
Yeah.
And he was like, "All right, guys, bring your backpacks up," and we would still steal each other's stuff. And then one day, we're like, I don't know how we start talking about arm wrestling, and Mr. Payton goes, "I'll arm wrestle you." And we send Bobby up there, and Bobby, is on the football team. He's walking up, gets going. We say, "Go." Mr. Payton crushes him.
Really?
Crushes him. And we're like, "Oh."
What he's not telling you is I had just lifted weights that day.
Oh,
so
stop it.
I
You
was
were
sore.
Right. Well,
No.
He broke your arm.
No, he flat out beat me. I mean, there ain't no.
It was like Bob was like sweating, and he also could play basketball, this teacher. But yeah, we had some stories, and then we had our my favorite all-time teacher, Mr. Briggs, who just passed away a couple years ago. I think I've mentioned to you, very big Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So I had him for 3 years in a row for different histories, aced his class every time.
Nice.
So that zero period I was telling you about, Ryan was in the class, and I forgot his brother Matt was in the class, and a couple other people. And that night, it was a Monday night, and the Jaguars were playing the Steelers, and he was diehard Steelers. And he's like, "We're going to crush the Jaguars." So this was like 96 when Jacksonville just came into the league. And that game is on that night, and Pittsburgh is about to win, and Jacksonville blocks the field goal and takes it all the way for a touchdown. And we come in the next day, and we go, yeah, "I'm going to fail you all."
Get out of my class.
And then that same year, the Dolphins beat the Steelers. And I called him up and I rubbed it in.
You called your teacher?
Yeah, I had his number and I called him up. He used to take kids to Europe every year. I never went. I wish I had done that. That would have been really cool.
No wonder all his teachers failed him. He was calling them on this.
I know. I mean, Bob, we can't hear you. God, Bob, look at you.
He's fine, Josh. Thank you.
Okay, so Bob, you have anything else to say?
No, not at the moment, really.
Wait, okay, so hold on. Mr. Briggs was your favorite. Let's talk favorite teachers.
Okay, who was yours, Derek?
I think mine was a tie between my conceptual physics teacher was the best part about that class was not even like it wasn't the material, it was the teacher because he was hilarious. Like the funny teachers are the best. And I will never forget John Fowler. He cracked everybody up in class.
How good is that name, John Fowler?
Oh yeah, it's the best. And but my chemistry teacher was really cool too. Eugene Mizusawa. He was awesome.
It's so random.
What was his name?
Eugene Mizusawa.
Mizusawa.
Yep. And he was great though. Like he really got like kids into chemistry. Like it's great. Like that's how you know you're a good teacher is when you can get kids like really into it. And we were all into it. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I was on that chalkboard like a madman trying to figure stuff out, but it was great. I was having a ball. Yeah, it was probably a tie between those two. Bob?
Okay, Bob?
You?
Are you there?
We really did lose him.
Oh my, okay, I'll answer for Bob. So, as you know, was it good? I don't think so.
I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm
Okay,
here.
we're trying to
Like I
run
said,
a
I'm just having
podcast.
some technical difficulties here.
Well, thank you for coming back because I couldn't take one more minute of that.
No, my favorite teacher, there was actually two of them
Okay.
that I really liked. I really liked an English teacher that we had in high school.
Mr. Shore?
Mr. Shore.
I knew you were gonna say that.
He was a blast.
He was
Mainly because of the way he taught. I just liked a lot of the stuff that he did and a lot of the lessons that he went over. We did a whole lesson on archetypes, and he had us watch the original Star Wars and showed us all the archetypes there. When we got into Shakespeare, instead of doing Romeo and Juliet or one of the others that we were supposed to do, he had us do Much Ado About Nothing.
Oh,
It was actually pretty good. So yeah, there was that one. The other one I really liked was a gentleman by the name of Mr. Slater. Just found out actually that he passed away
Today. He just passed away, we found out.
But he was a good guy. He was our psychology instructor. Only had him for one semester, but I actually have a history with him. And because I
oh God.
Yeah, I almost ran over his parents with my car.
What the hell's going on at that school?
So what happened was
maniac.
I was at a stoplight and I was looking to my left, and they were there at the crosswalk, or about to go on the crosswalk. And I had first looked to my right, and I saw them there, but they weren't actually crossing. And then I looked to my left to see if anybody was coming, and I started to let go of the brakes. And right at that time, they got the okay to go ahead and start crossing, so they did. And unfortunately, because I had just let go of the brake, I bumped into him and knocked him down, the father. Now, found out after the fact that they were his parents. Of course, the ambulance comes.
The father said, "I can't feel my legs," and he said,
"Well, the ambulance comes, the cops come, of course, because it was an accident, and so everybody had to show up, and the two of them were like, look, it was just an accident, we got the okay to go, and this is what happened." Well, anyway, we got their address information, and my mom and I later that night went to go check on them to see how they were doing. And that's when I found out that they were his parents, as they had pictures of him on their walls, and they mentioned that their son was a teacher at the high school. And it was like, oh my gosh. And now when this happened, it was actually during winter break. So sure enough, I get to back to school in the spring, and first thing Mr. Slater does when he sees me is he walks up to me and goes, "Hey, killer, come here."
Yeah.
And so for the rest of the semester, and actually for a lot longer, he would call me Killer. And he would introduce me to people. He'd be like, hey, this is the guy that almost killed my parents.
He was so Derek, he taught my sisters and me.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's how long he had been at the school. Yeah. He knew my parents. I was like,
this sounds like something out of a show. Like, honestly.
I was shocked. Bob called me. He's like, dude, I just ran over Mr. Slater's parents. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, that's a good one.
The thing is, he was really cool about it because his parents at the time, you know, they were elderly. They had some issues, and he was like, I told them that they shouldn't be walking places and stuff because they were just, I forget where they were walking to, but they were a ways from home. And he was like, yeah, I've been telling them not to do that. But sure enough, they did. So.
All right. Well,
fair enough. All right. Let's ask one more question.
Okay, yeah.
Let's not get ourselves. Did you guys have a hot teacher or no?
Oh yeah. There's a couple that.
Yeah.
I had none.
Really?
None.
Not really. There were. Yeah.
Really makes me mad.
Yeah.
So okay, come on.
I can't say because I'm one of Facebook and all. I'm not saying it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say their names.
Yeah, there were. I'll say that there were a couple hot ones.
Oh God, what are we doing here? All right, I expect more out of you both.
Okay, so there was one.
Oh my! Look at Bob. Look at that. Wow, you look better than you did before.
No, like I said, sorry, having camera issues. Anyway,
no, your face broke the camera. Good God!
Stop it, Josh. That's
anyway. I had an English teacher. She was a younger teacher, and I thought she was pretty hot. And then we had I didn't particularly have her, but he was a French teacher, I think.
Who?
I don't remember her name.
At Coronado?
Yeah. I don't remember her name. But
I think I do, but I'll
she was fairly young also. I don't think she had been teaching very long. And then there was one other one that I don't remember what department she worked in. I think her name was Compton, if I remember.
Yes, that's who mine is.
Okay.
Biology.
Anyway,
Biology.
there was a day she was doing aerobics for the football team. And leading us in aerobics, and that was the one day we were all excited to be working out.
And then she ended up leaving the school because she had triplets.
Yes.
And she taught biology. And boy, you wanted you wanted to stay in at lunch, let me tell you.
All of a sudden, you started getting real good at life science, didn't you?
Oh, yes. God. Here we go again.
I'm still here.
All right. So, okay, very good. So, Bob, are you able to should we go on to the next topic or?
You know what? Before we go into the next topic, do have something that I want to share with you guys. This is about last week. And I just thought that this would be something that we could really enjoy together, especially after that conversation. So I'm going to go ahead and share this with you guys.
Turn the key and drive away. Our love was always a runaway train.
Shut up!
I love the polar bear.
Yeah, that's good. Well, what's funny is when we got off of last week, I kept going back to the eagle, and I'm like, he would have Sam the Eagle. And I was exactly right.
That's so funny. Shut up.
He delivered on his promise, too.
Oh, that was so funny. I laughed so hard. Oh, my God. That was so good.
So I had to scour the internet to find pictures of our pets. So,
that's awesome. The polar bear. All right.
The polar bear looked friendly, though, at least.
Well, yes. After it mauls you to death.
Yeah,
all right, let's go on to our second topic. As we said, it's kind of like a growing up stuff kind of subject tonight. This is now about our favorite top 5 fast food restaurants.
Bob's got them all tonight.
He's got them. Very good. All right, so we're gonna go. We've all composed a list of our favorite fast food restaurants that we love, that we've grown up with. Let's go ahead and start at your number 5, Derico. What is it?
Okay, these are going to be in no particular order. So
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
going to start saying them.
You're just going to list them all.
Yeah, I'll say one, for each round, but I'm not
Okay.
going to rank them because they're good in their own ways, and everybody's going to get a craving for anything, every so often.
Okay.
But I'm going to start with one that was always been a constant. There is still one in my very small town where I grew up, and it's the Bell, Taco Bell.
Yeah.
There's something about this. It may have been one of the better meals I've had when I partook in some greenery with my sister and went to Taco Bell, and I ate like a king, and it was for like $10.
Oh, it's
And
the best.
all of it delightful. I can't complain. It was great.
Cheesy gordita crunch. Oh, so good.
I'm not gonna deny like a just a nice soft taco supreme.
Ooh. Also, remember in high school the double decker?
I do remember the double decker.
Oh, the double decker. We used to go there. So
They
good.
had Taco Bell at U of A, right?
Yeah, of course. We never
Yeah.
went though. I don't think we.
No,
ever
we
went.
didn't. I never went with.
I don't
anybody.
think. Yeah, we never went. I'm trying
No.
to. Yeah, U of A was more about like McDonald's, Wendy's,
Well, they
Carl's.
had Los Betos.
Oh,
which-
Los Betos.
And
Los,
if you needed to clear your system out, that's where you went. I ate there one time, and anytime one of my friends was like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna go pick up some lunch there," I'm like, "Don't, please don't. Do yourself a favor."
Where's the place we went to in Tucson last time at like 2 a.m? The taco place.
Oh, Nico's Tacos.
Yes. Yeah, like on Campbell or something.
Yep, big old breakfast burrito.
Yes.
At like 2 a.m.
Exactly.
That's how
All right, Bob. Give us one.
Number 5, I got Arby's.
Ooh, I didn't think of that. Okay, very good.
I like their, it's different because it's not the traditional burger or anything like that. I mean, yeah, you still got some chicken sandwiches, and yeah, they got some burgers there, but they specialize in fresh market stuff, but yet it's not like a Subway or something like that. So it's still, feels like a fast food restaurant as far as like a McDonald's or something like that, but it doesn't feel like a McDonald's or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then also, I really like their curly fries. So
that's a good.
Oh, their curly fries are the best.
Yeah,
so I got them at number 5.
Are they pretty
all right.
commonplace where you are, Bob?
I wouldn't say necessarily commonplace, but yeah, I mean, there's
one by where we grew up.
There's one not too far from where I live, and there's one not too far from a couple of places where I work. So
you gotta go like all the way down to San Jose, up in North Marin County to find one out here. It's a pain.
Yeah, they just closed one, and then I think Deep Valley there's probably one. Yeah, but love Arby's. My mom loves Arby's. Has always loved Arby's.
They have the meats.
there you go.
Exactly. So my number 5 is something that, Derek, I don't know if you had, Bob and I had. Oh, and I miss it. I crave it so many times. Long John Silver's.
There was one out, like way out in the East Bay. It's a place called Concord.
Okay.
But it closed long ago, and I think it was because somebody got a case of food poisoning so bad that they almost died.
Oh, God, don't tell me that. I mean, you
I'm
have like the perfect chicken. You have the Crispies. They had the crispy bits that my mom and I would go and get extra, and then the fries and the hush puppies.
They had one in Tucson. I remember that. Yeah.
And do they still have one in El Paso, Bob?
If we do, I'm not sure.
Did you like it?
I haven't seen one in a while. I used to like it. The only problem was that they always had too much batter and hardly any fish. And it was nothing but batter. I finally understand how Jesus was able to feed the 5,000 with just 2 fish. Is that he had all the batter from Long John Silver's.
Oh,
Mhm.
so good. It was so good.
Fish.
And towards the end, I remember they'd pair up with A&W restaurants.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
a combo
Yeah, they did.
right by your house.
I used to like it. It just
Oh, it's my favorite.
I liked their shrimp meals. So
Yeah, I didn't
Good
really
call.
get the shrimp. I love the chicken. I love the chicken. All right, Bob, you go next. What's your next one?
number 4, I got Chick-fil-A.
Okay,
Okay.
good pick. Very
Hey,
good pick. What do you like about it?
The original chicken sandwich. I like the recipe that they use for the chicken breasts. It's good. And then they're always so friendly.
Yeah,
More often than not. They can have the longest line going through the drive-through, but
Yep.
people are still happy as they're going through the drive-through because the staff makes it. They try to make you happy.
you know, it's funny. Growing up in El Paso, we always had it, Derek, in the malls. And then I guess now they opened a brick and mortar, right?
Yeah, they got the actual restaurants all around town now.
They've only gotten here recently. They're actually about to open right down the street from us.
Yes.
Yeah, so that'll be good. They didn't get here until like forever.
Yeah,
Like, they
here in
took
LA
forever
too.
and a day. I remember the first time I had Chick-fil-A was in Tucson, and I think I was with you, and I'm like, "What's Chick-fil-A?" And you were
Yeah.
like, "You've never had Chick-fil-A?" And so then we had to go eat lunch there.
And you loved it. You
Hey,
loved
it's
it.
delicious. You can't go wrong
I
with
mean,
Chick-fil-A.
it's so good. Bob and
And
I
the
have
wa-
eaten there so many times over the years.
And the waffle fries are decent. So
Oh, they're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with waffle fries.
and
Shout out.
their nuggets. Oh gosh, nuggets are great.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Derek, what about you?
Can I get a shout out to DQ Dairy Queen?
Really?
Yeah, it's good stuff, man.
Oh, it's so good. I'm impressed. I didn't know you
Yeah.
guys had one.
Well, they're again hard to find, but when I did a lot of obviously like driving through the Central Valley of California because you get into Yosemite,
Yeah.
and I would always ask because there would be 2 small towns along the way to get to Yosemite where you would get
Yeah.
into these little towns and there would be the Dairy Queens. So I'd always ask if we were going to get into one of those towns when trying to get to Yosemite or coming back from it to get some Dairy Queen.
Oh,
And
what'd you get?
their burgers. Well, yes, I think I got the burgers, and then like they had like an Oreo Blizzard. I think,
Yep.
but yeah, that was. They had a Reese's one that was pretty good too, but Oreo is just the classic for me.
Chicken tenders with Texas toast. Mm.
If they did have that, that's right.
Oh, so good. And then the Oreo blizzards. But you said a hamburger and fries.
Yeah.
Now
Good.
I just thought of something. Derek drives me crazy, Bob. Derek, you know where I'm going.
Yep.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Bob. You sit down, you order a hamburger and fries.
Okay.
Okay, this is going to sound weird, but I don't care. How do you eat it? Do you have some burger,
Oh, why
and
this
some fry,
bothers you
or
so much?
what do? You kind of eat it together, right?
No.
How do you do it?
Okay, you're asking the wrong person because I eat all my meals. I always leave my main course for last. I always eat the side,
I'm done. I'm done.
I always eat the side items
Did you
first.
guys talk about this before the
No,
podcast?
I'm serious. So like for example, if I got a steak, potatoes, and vegetable, I would eat the vegetable, I'd eat the potato, and then I would eat the steak last.
Made my month. Thank you, Bob.
Drives me crazy. Every time we went to Carl's or anywhere, he
So he eats all the fries first.
and then eats
Yeah.
the burger. Makes
See,
no
I do
sense
that
to me.
too.
Yeah.
I give up.
You know
All
what?
right.
Honorary mention though that you just said that to Carl's Jr. I didn't have him on my list, but shout out.
Yeah. Famous
They're
star
very
on
good.
sourdough.
Or the $6 burger, please.
Yeah. I like the other one better. I wasn't a fan of the $6 burger. Okay, my number 4 is McDonald's. I still like it. I go there with Charlie. I love their fries are the best.
What you do is you get the Burger King burger with the McDonald's fries.
Oh, I've never thought about that.
That's how you have to do it.
Yeah, because the fries at Burger King are not good.
No, but the burgers are better. I feel
Yeah,
like.
because they got that charbroiled flavor.
Yeah, I like that taste better.
Um,
I mean, your quarter pounder is a quarter pounder. I'm not gonna hate on it. I ate.
no,
I ate like
it's
everybody
still
else.
good. Don't eat it all the time now, but Big Mac is sometimes good to do. If you ignore the calorie, intake.
I always ignore the calorie intake.
Yeah,
We're
I mean,
eating
the
fast
fact
food.
that McDonald's does that, like,
I know. Well, in California, they are forced to or something.
I know.
They're forced to do it everywhere. You have
Oh,
to
is
put
that
the
everywhere
nutritional
now?
value. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which at that
Um,
point, if you're walking into McDonald's and you're wondering what the calories are and what you're eating, they should just have a big middle finger up anytime you ask what the calories are. Like, are you kidding me? Seriously?
That's funny.
Come on.
All right, number 3, go, Derek.
Well, it makes me feel like I'm sort of eating healthy, but I like the freedom of making your own sandwich as you go along. I'll go with Subway.
Oh, okay. I like
Yeah.
Subway.
It's nice to be able to like pick what you want to create, and there is something that's good about that.
What do
it's
you
not
get?
the best. What do I get?
Yeah.
It depends. I like a couple different sandwiches over there, but if I had to pick one, they do a pretty decent what they call a club, but it works. Club with cheddar, probably the
Nice.
go-to. I like the chicken teriyaki. That was pretty good. I don't know.
Bob
if they still
loves their cookies. Bob loves their cookies.
The cookies are pretty good.
He loves their cookies. He will stop at any day and go get Subway
The
cookies.
Subway
It's
cookies,
been
they're
a
good.
while.
Yeah.
It's been a
I
while.
don't know.
though.
Something about that and like the crunchy Cheetos on the side. That's nice. That's good stuff.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Delightful.
Okay, Bob, what's your number 3?
Number 3, Whataburger.
Okay.
He is in Texas after all.
Yep.
Hey, you can't go wrong with Whataburger. They have good burgers. I love to get. I like how they cook almost everything fresh. It's borderline, not even a fast food. I say borderline because, like, you could be the first person in line, and you might be waiting, 7 to 10 minutes because they're cooking that thing fresh.
Yeah.
So I like that. So their burgers are good. I like to get a burger with cheese, bacon, get some grilled jalapenos on top of that.
Ooh.
Uh,
Well, my mom loves.
Their fries are they're okay, but the burgers make up for it. And I've actually gotten to where I really like their breakfast. I like they have a jalapeno cheddar biscuit that I like to get with sausage, cheese, and egg, and I think that's pretty dang good. So Whataburger's my number 3.
Okay. My number 3 is LA staple, In-N-Out. They I know it's they have great burgers. Their fries are okay, but double animal style, which I don't know if you've eaten it In-N-Out, Bob, but they kind of
I've eaten there before.
Mustard, onions, and it's got great flavor. They do the burgers really well. They're like I said, their fries are okay. Shakes don't have them that much. Love their Dr. Pepper there. Just always have enjoyed it. Always enjoyed it. Even have tried it like the protein style. Actually did it with like onion slices as the sandwich, as the bread, which was good. Was messy, but still very flavorful. So, I love In-N-Out.
You've lived over there too long.
I know I have. Well,
Watch
my
your
number
mouth.
2 you'll like. My number 2.
No, I'm not going to watch my mouth. He needs to come back to the promised land because we need to re-educate him what a real burger's supposed to taste like.
I'm about
Too
to
late. We converted him.
I'm about to go back to the promised land. So, Bob, what's your number 2?
Number 2 is Raising Cane's.
Ooh, they're just open. They're opening one in Encino. I'm very excited.
Raising Cane's, you can't go wrong with it. It's a very simple menu. They don't do anything special. Chicken tenders all across the board. The menu options are 3, 4, or 6, or you can get it on a sandwich. And then it comes with fries. Comes with your coleslaw and a Texas toast. It's delicious. You can't go wrong with it. It's simple. You already know when you're going to Raising Cane's what you're going to get. So I like the simplicity of it, and it's delicious. They don't have many options, but what they have, they do very, very well. So Raising Cane's is my number 2.
Okay,
I
Jericho?
just became familiar with Raising Cane's because we don't have them out here at all.
Oh, you
But
don't have.
find-
We're starting to.
Yeah, well, that's just it. We saw the first one from. It was actually when I went down for my aunt's service down in Fresno. We passed one, and I'm like, Raising Cane, what is that? And my sister had heard of it somehow. I think she got involved with it from like an advertising thing, and she was like, yeah, it's supposed to be really good. It's I think some chicken place, and so we started looking it up. And Bob's right, the options are limited, but people love it.
Chicken. Yep.
Yeah, I've never been.
Hey, if you're gonna do something, do it well, and that's what I like about it. It's simple. Again, you already know what you're gonna get when you go there. You're getting chicken fingers, but they do them well. So
I remember about 4 years ago, we went up to Big Bear and in the mountains, and Charlie was little, and we have it on video. We're like, where are we going? Because we were going to go to Raising Cane's for lunch, and we wanted her to say Big Bear. And we're like, Charlie, where are we going for lunch? She goes, Cane's.
Cane's.
Cane's. All right, Derek, what's your number 2?
Well, you already kind of said it, so I'll just say In-N-Out as well. There was they built an In-N-Out when I was I want to say a junior in high school in the town that I went to high school in. So obviously, if you had a car, you wanted to get there. But the problem is the drive-through and the line when that place first opened. You needed to have your free period right after lunch because you weren't gonna get your food on time. So that was a big deal. The strawberry shake is very awesome there.
I gotta try that.
Yeah, it's good. Sorry, Bob.
You both are sick, but
I am going to return to the motherland. My number 2 is Whataburger.
There you go.
I love Whataburger. I miss it terribly. I wish they would bring one to California. I am very plain with Whataburger. A Whataburger, plain and dry with cheese. Sometimes if I'm in the mood, I'll get everything on there with the mustard and everything. Fries, like Bob said, I think they're pretty good. My favorite, the onion rings.
Yeah,
love Whataburger's onion rings. They are so good. So unlike any of, they're not, Derek, a lot of batter, and they're small.
It's not
and I think they're just
fluffed on there.
Yeah, and really love it. People love the chicken tenders with the Texas toast as well. But I've always been, when it comes to Whataburger, is the burger. And yeah, I miss it. I crave it sometimes.
The first time I went to a Whataburger was in Tucson.
Right. Correct.
Where was it? I think it was out where I lived in Star Ranch or something like that. It was out that way.
Okay, I couldn't think of that the other day. Yeah. Yes, kind of close to where you were. Yep.
I mean, it was right on the outskirts. When you got into the Star Ranch territory, you were out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, in the boondocks.
Yeah, and so just right as you got on the nice little border of town there was that Whataburger.
So good. So good. So yeah, that's my number 2. And then what's our number 1, gentlemen? Derrico, go for it.
It has to go to Jack in the Box.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I grew up with it in my small little town. It was the closest one near me. Yeah, Bob, that's right.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
From Bob.
Okay. I like their breakfast, but beyond that.
Well, that was the best part was they had 30 different combo meals, and 7 of them were breakfast items.
Their breakfasts are good and their tacos are good.
Okay. First of all, they also had they actually had a pretty good crispy chicken sandwich.
Okay.
If you were into that. Sorry, yeah, I like it. I'm rolling with it. The only time I generally have it now is if mom and dad are out late at night. Josh, you'll be familiar with this because at your wedding, we got nice and toasty, and we went to Jack in the Box afterwards.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was right down the street when we were staying in the hotel.
That's
so
awesome.
we ate there.
That's awesome. Oh my
His kid's like,
god.
honey, if we don't get something to eat, it's not going to be a good night. And I'm like, well, it might not be a good night if you eat this either. So
Oh god, people were so
fair.
drunk. Oh my god.
everybody was getting toasty at that event.
Oh, they were. Okay, Bob, what's your number one?
Five Guys.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There you go.
I didn't even think of Five Guys. Yeah.
Five Guys is a delicious burger. I love the options for the condiments that you can get on it. Fries are pretty good. They're similar to Raising Cane's in that they don't have a huge menu item. Like you're not gonna find like a chicken sandwich or I think they have a hot dog.
Yeah, they do have a hot dog. A grilled
But you're not gonna find a ton of different menu items like a Burger King or a McDonald's or any of that. It's pretty straightforward. You're getting more often than not, you're getting a burger, either a single or a double patty. But it's the options for the condiments, everything, but they do it well. Five Guys is my number one.
Okay. My number one, gentlemen, I'm going to be honest with both of you for the first time ever. Chick-fil-A. I have loved Chick-fil-A since the time I was little, and my mother would put me in the stroller at the mall, and for me to like keep my mouth shut, she would get me a little bag of the waffle fries. Love their fries. Over time, I have changed with my orders. For many, many years, chicken nuggets. Love the chicken nuggets. Then
He's like
recently-
Dominic Mysterio.
I know.
Yeah.
Recently, it's
Liv
been
gives me tendies whenever I want them.
I know. Recently, it's been the Chick-fil-A sandwich, just the original sandwich. But now, since I've been trying to lose weight, even though I've been getting the nuggets again, which still are so good. The tenders are okay to me. I think the nuggets are so much better. Their frozen lemonade is excellent.
Oh, nice.
They have a frozen lemonade. They also have like a peach milkshake, which is awesome. God, there's nothing like Chick-fil-A. I remember when they opened in LA, I was in chiropractic school, and they opened at USC, and we all went at lunch to have it. Yeah, there's not, and it's funny. When I first met my wife, and my in-laws said they went to Chick-fil-A and loved it. And I'm like, really? Like, I just didn't think that because they have such specific tastes. And they're like, oh, no, the chicken is moist. We love it. It's like their favorite place.
It's delicious.
Yeah. Oh, Eric, we used to have it at the Park Student Union in Tucson. That's where I got my freshman.
Yeah, I know. That's where we ran into it. And you got really excited.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what's Chick-fil-A?
So good.
That's how we got to it. Now, funny story about Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Where my parents used to live, it's a little town called Walnut Creek. They have a Chick-fil-A, but it's right next to 24-hour fitness. And every so often, you'll see people go right from the gym to Chick-fil-A.
That's so good.
And it's just like whatever you did at that gym, you don't care.
Yeah, it went bye-bye.
Yep.
But you don't have any shame about that. So good for you, sir and or ma'am.
Sir and or madam. All right. Well, if I just want to remind people again, if you love this podcast we're doing tonight and these topics, give us a like and also give us a comment. What's your favorite fast food restaurants? Do you have a list? And so, all right, let's go to our final topic of the night. We would wake up, gentlemen, Saturday mornings, and we would run into the living room and we would turn the TV on and let's talk about our top 5 cartoons of all time.
Yet again.
Yes. All right, Bob. This is a great subject. I'm very excited about this. What's your number 5?
Okay, so first off, as I was thinking about all of this, you mentioned the Saturday morning, you went off and ran in and watched your favorite cartoon.
Yeah.
I stopped and thought about this. All of my favorite cartoons, I've either seen them when I was older or they were, or even as an adult. So
You didn't watch cartoons when you were little?
no, I did. I'm just saying when I came up with my list, I was
Oh,
like, boy, all of my list except one are stuff that I saw when I was older, or
interesting.
either a teenager or even as an adult.
Or on his wedding
No.
night. He
So,
just watched cartoons.
I'm just gonna throw a couple of honorable mentions out there real quick. I really liked Robotech.
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 Specifically, though, the Macross saga, which was season
I
1,
don't even know what that
because
is.
well, Robotech was a Japanese anime show, but when it came to the United States, they took 3 different series and they put them together and split them into different seasons, and they had to adapt it and try to link them together to make it one show so it could go into syndication. So really, the first season it kind of stands alone. I mean, it's linked together as far as the American version goes, but really it's a standalone series, and I really like that first season of Robotech the Macross Saga. I actually saw that as an adult, and it came out in the 80s, but I saw it as an adult. Really liked that one. And then my other honorable mention is Family Guy.
Buddy.
Family Guy's great. I mean,
Bravo.
like when I came up with this list, it was stuff that I could sit back and watch and I could still enjoy today.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
I got to put Family Guy on there. So my number 5 is Spider-Man, the animated series.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love this one. I thought the stories were pretty good.
Right.
It had that really cool intro song. I thought that was great. It came around the same time as several of the others that I'm sure a bunch of us are going to have on our list. So I'm going to put Spider-Man, the animated series at my number 5.
Okay.
That's a good
Jericho?
one. Well, to follow along those lines, I thought about putting Spider-Man on it because it was really good.
Yeah.
But I've talked about X-Men too much. It's got to be on.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree. After what we just saw with X-Men 97.
Well, yeah, and I mean that the fact that like they were going to capitalize on that and it still worked. I can't not have it on my list, and I'm already a huge X-Men fan to begin with.
Right.
So it's well done, man. It's really well done. Now it's going to go right into the toilet from what it sounds like, but let's enjoy it for what it's been and what it was very recently. Thank you for that series.
Okay. So I'm focused on the Saturday morning cartoons. So my number 5 was something that I've always loved, Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Sounds about right.
Yep. Something I always loved. Simon, Theodore, Alvin. Oh God. Just always loved that. We're the Chipmunks.
No, stop. No, don't.
Anyway, it was a great show. As you know, one of our friends calls me Seville. Dave Seville, because he's a nice guy. I always love the show. It's just even, I wish they still had that one. It was so great. I'd get up and one of my next one came right before that one on Saturday mornings. Honorable mention. How about the John Candy Camper Show? Do you guys remember that one?
No.
Vaguely.
You didn't? Yeah, it was a John Candy cartoon.
Interesting. Okay.
That they did, yeah. And so that was kind of cool. I remember when all those shows though transferred into like Saved by the Bell and Hang Time and all that stuff. Very different.
It was like they had the one cartoon at like 10:30, nobody watched, and then 11 o'clock hit, and that's when those shows were on.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, Derico, what's your number 4?
Thundercats.
Thundercats.
But you better not play around with Mumra, man.
Oh,
Don't let that little hobbling fool you.
yes.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Bad
it was
news.
good. When we had Super Mumra. Do you remember that one?
Mhm.
That's one of my favorite episodes.
Yep.
It
I
was so cool.
always been a fan. I was like really like I think it was like one of the first action figure series I got where I got multiple at the same time.
Yeah.
It was great. It was a lot of fun. If you go back and watch it, it's still a lot of fun.
I gotta go back. What's it on?
Oh, I don't remember. I mean, you can catch episodes of it, I think, even on YouTube.
Yeah, maybe it's on Amazon, maybe on Prime.
I don't know.
I gotta look it up.
Yeah,
In
just
fact,
look it
I'm
up
gonna do
later.
that as
Yeah, you can find it out there.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
all right.
No. All right, Bob, what's yours?
Number 4 for me is X-Men the animated series. So,
Ah,
and I'm not going to go into it too deep. I mean, Derek already touched on it, and we've talked on it when we talked X-Men '97. But the one thing that stood out to me was that a lot of the storytelling was very mature, and we were already getting older by that time, so it was really tapping into our age group.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm going to say X-Men the animated series at number 4.
Nice.
By the way, Thundercats on Hulu.
Oh,
There you go.
okay. There you go.
That's what it says. All right, my next one, another one you guys will make fun of me on, but this will be the last one. The Smurfs.
Yeah, right.
I love the Smurfs. In fact, Boomerang had an old episode of it. I was trying to have Charlie watch it. I don't know. I always grew up with the Smurfs, Papa Smurf, Smurfette, Gargamel.
This is going very poorly, Josh.
No, this is stuff
we
that
knew it had to be on that list because remember when we talked about the possibility of doing this? That was the first cartoon he named.
Yeah,
you're right. That's true.
Hey, if we had just said top 5 cartoons, but this was Saturday morning. You wake up.
Never said Saturday morning.
You didn't say Saturday morning.
You just said top.
Okay.
No, it better not just be Saturday morning. It can't be. I got something here that no.
Oh, I bet I know, and I left it out.
Well, we'll get there when we get there.
We'll get there, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's mine, Smurfs. All right, Bob, what's your next one?
Ren and Stimpy.
Really?
Ren and Stimpy, I got it.
Really?
To this day, I can still watch Ren and Stimpy and I can still laugh. In fact, one of my favorite episodes was this one where they were wrestling and they were basically jobbers and the two main wrestlers were turning around beating the snot out of them and through the whole match. And then right at the end, I guess Stimpy and Ren were supposed to win. So you see them turn around and lay down and let the Ren and them lay on top of them. And then at the end, they cut a promo and the two main wrestlers are sitting there. You cheated. We are going to kill you next time. We're going to do this. And so then when it comes time for Ren and Stimpy to do the promo, Stimpy's like, I want to holler the funny words. And so he grabs the mic and he's like, I like you. You like me. And he's just screaming it.
I remember that show.
Or there was another episode where Stimpy was telling Ren a story to help him fall asleep, but it was like a mixture of all the fairy tales. And in the dream that he's having as Stimpy's telling the story, he's playing Ren is playing Robin Hood, and he's got to go rescue Rapunzel. And so he goes to rescue Rapunzel, and he gets to the tower, and this single hair comes down, and so he climbs up the hair to get up to Rapunzel, and it's Stimpy on the top who's Rapunzel, and the hair is a giant nose hair. That was cool.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
So I can't help but laugh at that. It's still to this day. So Ren and Stimpy, I got it my number 3 because again, my list were cartoons that if I put them in today, I could still watch them and enjoy them.
Right. Okay, Derrico, what's yours?
Does Stimpy have his magic nose goblins? He picked them himself?
Yes.
That's funny.
What's
yours, Derrico?
I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I wasn't totally obsessed with this because I was, but Heroes in a Half Shell, Turtle Power.
Oh God! Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that. There was a time when you could not walk down the street with when that song turned on. Everybody knew the words. Everybody.
Ninja Turtles. Yep. Such a good show. That was on during the week, though, right?
Oh, I don't remember. Might have been.
No, it was Saturday mornings originally, and then with reruns, you could catch it during the week.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe it was on Fox, like back in the time. I think maybe. All right.
Krang always kind of bothered me, but that's okay.
Who did?
Krang.
Oh God, yeah.
The villain is Shredder. Like that's it.
Of course, yeah.
You know, come on, knock it off. I don't
Baxter.
even-
Baxter,
Baxter.
you can play. You like that?
Here's the thing that the Ninja Turtles from that we saw when we were kids, they were great.
Yeah.
They were a lot of fun, but they are so far removed from their comic version because it was made for little kids. The comic is a much more mature comic book. I mean, Shredder dies because he gets decapitated.
Well, then, and Raphael is supposed to be like way dark in the comics too.
Yeah, the version that I think's actually the best cartoon version, for me anyway, I think the 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is actually a better cartoon as far as that it's closer to the comic, and the storytelling I think is more mature.
Gotcha. Good to know.
Was it the original movie? Raphael was dark, right?
Oh yeah, the movie did its best to have the cross between the Saturday morning cartoon that all the kids loved
and the comic,
but they tried to have some of the dark elements from the comic. So I think the movie was a pretty good adaptation as far as being a cross between both. It's funny though how parents got all upset because it was so dark. Like you had the turtles swearing and stuff. And so they ended up changing the second one to where they didn't even use their weapons in the second one.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, and then Vanilla Ice with the
ice.
I still liked the Vanilla Ice part.
Well, no, okay, but you know why 2 also bothered me? Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yeah, I know they put in discount Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yeah, no, that's come on.
The dinosaurs, right?
No, it was a snapping turtle and a wolf
and a snapping turtle.
Oh yeah.
Oka and Razor.
That's right.
No.
Was it Julie Bowen? Didn't she play April in that movie?
Did she?
Maybe.
Okay.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Here we go.
She was fine.
But it is, I mean, like in the first one, it really, God, the foot soldiers are orphan children.
Yeah.
What was her name?
Julie Bowen?
No. Paige Turco.
Okay.
Turco.
Oh.
She was April. She played her in the second one and the third one.
Yeah. Third one was not good at all.
Well, that's because the second one didn't do it much justice, and then it just was downhill from there.
All right, gentlemen. My number 3 is a show I know Bob knows. I don't know if you know it, Derek. Do you remember Mask? Yeah, with the I had all the cars. You had the red convertible Ferrari that
I had the green motorcycle. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the semi truck where you would open up the top and there'd be like a gun and everything. It was such a good show. Such a good Mask Invasion.
Yeah, it had a cool intro song. So
yeah. I did you watch it, Bob?
Yeah, I did. You know, a lot of those 80s cartoons had really cool intro songs.
Yeah, they did. Did you watch it, Derek?
Not like a lot. I'm trying to remember because it was on for like a little bit, and it came and went. Like it just disappeared from our
I just looked it up when we were just conversing, and I was trying to see how many seasons. I mean, wow, it was. I guess started in '85. Really?
Yeah, it's an older one.
Oh, you can watch it on Amazon. That's cool. God, it's been years. But yeah, that's my. I always loved it. That's my number 3. All right, Bob, what's your number 2?
Well, my number 2. I'm curious to see which of you two, if not both of you, put this as your number 1. I'm going with Batman the Animated Series at my number 2.
It's all right, fine. God.
No, I ended it because I thought of Saturday morning cartoons, so I didn't include it.
So Batman the Animated Series is my number 2. Great storytelling. You get to see the Rogues Gallery. Kevin Conroy is fantastic as the voice. I thought they did a good job with Robin as far as that he was in certain episodes, not in others. So he wasn't in every episode because he was away at school. So, that's why he wouldn't be in every episode. I just thought it was great storytelling. It led into the Superman the Animated Series, and then of course Justice League. Overall, it was fantastic. Batman the Animated Series is my number 2.
Okay, Derek.
Well, I'll switch my number 2 now to my number 1, just to keep an element of surprise here. But yeah, my number, I'll just say it was what Bob said.
That was going to be your number 1?
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I remember this specifically, like especially in middle school, because that was the one show where every guy I knew was, you know, because most cartoons, you know, you can joke around or, you know, especially even in like middle school, it's like, oh, you still watch cartoons? But every guy I knew was like, dude, Batman's awesome. Like you can't play with that show. That
And it
show's
is
too
my
good.
top one. That's not Saturday morning. I'll say that. I just was just on Saturday mornings.
Man, if you had given me that on Saturday mornings too, I would have been a made man.
No, it was perfect the way that it was shown.
Yeah, and like it would be like if you even like went to your friend's house to like spend the night, you'd be like, dude, like one's 4:30. Like it wasn't even a question.
Gotta watch Batman.
Yep.
My number 2 is Thundercats.
Oh man, up on the
I
list.
love Thundercats, and you know, like we just mentioned about Mumra and Lionel and all of them. It's been years since I've seen it, but just I thought it was a great show. It was great story writing. God, used to watch it all the time. Love the logo. The logo was sick.
Yeah, that was a good logo.
Still waiting for a live action movie, you know, with Brad Pitt starring as Lionel.
We're not gonna get it anymore.
Not at this point.
No,
you don't think we'll ever get a live action Thundercats?
No.
I was joking about Brad Pitt.
No, the time's gone now. The window is closed. It's done.
You know, honestly, I would, if it came out. I mean, we would also. I think it would have such a huge following.
Well, okay, unless they bring the cartoon back and it gets really big again, which I kind of doubt, then it's not going to happen.
Okay. But yeah, it was
no
good.
Brad Pitt is Lionel. You're not getting that.
Yeah.
No.
And no Hugh Jackman is Ty. You're not getting that either.
That's funny. Derek, what's your number 1 cartoon?
The nod goes to Transformers.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's classic, man.
It is.
I mean, I can't even remember how many figures I had. I was obsessed with it at one point. And Optimus Prime was like, I had a stuffed animal, like it was like a teddy bear, Optimus Prime.
Wow.
When I saw Transformers the movie, and when Prime died, I cried.
I was about to ask about that.
I sure did cry. You bet I did. And it was, I mean, it confused me because then like Hot Rod becomes like, I'm like, wait, is he Optimus now? Like, I don't understand.
He was Rodimus.
There it is.
Actually, you know what? I actually liked Hot Rod.
No, I liked Hot Rod. It's just that I didn't.
But I wasn't a fan of Rodimus. I liked him as Hot Rod.
Yeah. No, I knew you had potential, kid. Sorry, I had to get that out of the way. And not to mention the fact that Unicron, I thought was one of the scariest villains when I was a kid.
Hey, Orson Welles voiced Unicron.
Isn't that great?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Leonard Nimoy voiced Galvatron.
Yep.
Wow. Live long and prosper.
Judd Nelson is Hot Rod.
Oh yeah, Judd Nelson. That's right.
Cool
Unsolved Mysteries was Ultra Magnus.
Yes, Robert Stack.
Yes, it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and, you know,
go ahead.
in the movie, they introduced one of my favorite Transformers to this day, RC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked RC.
RC's a good one. I can't help it because I thought this guy was a lot of fun to watch too, but I loved Blur, the guy who voiced
Oh, he was the guy who did the Micro Machines commercials.
Yep, exactly. He was always fun to listen to, and the fact that he was a Transformer just wow, that's good stuff.
So crazy.
Yeah, I can't help it, man. It's a good I'm gonna go see the new movie with Dominic. He's already said I want to see that badly. He said, "Yeah, we'll go."
Yeah,
we'll
maybe
go check that one out.
wants to see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check it out too.
Yeah.
All right, Bob, what's your number one?
All right, I did mention that there was one on here that I saw when I was a kid. This is the all-time greatest cartoon on the face of this planet. Has the all-time greatest characters on the face of this planet. Scooby-Doo.
Really?
Scooby-Doo is my favorite cartoon. I mean, how could you not love it? A bunch of teenagers and their dog going on these mystery, on these mysteries to solve crimes and stuff like that. Driving around in the mystery machine. Scooby and Shaggy eating everything in sight. They're also afraid of everything. How many times did we see them try to take off and their legs are just moving and they're not even moving, and then all of a sudden
I love their sub sandwiches.
there they go.
Remember the big sub sandwiches they would eat?
Yep.
So good.
I used to love when they would reveal who the ghost was.
Yeah,
they'd turn around and they'd be like, "The ghost is," and they'd take off the mask. Mr. Jones. I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you kids and that mangy
kids.
And so, I used to love that. I even liked it more when they would take off the mask and they'd be like, "It's Mr. Jones." No, that's what they want. That's what he wants you to think. And then he would take off the second mask. The only one I did not like in Scooby-Doo, I was not a big fan of the episodes with Scrappy.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Scrappy, I know why they brought him in. They brought him in to be this cute character, and the reason why he was always, "Let me at him," because that's supposed to be a typical pup, thinks that they're so big and tough and whatnot. But I just wasn't a fan of Scrappy. I always preferred the episodes without him. But for me, Scooby-Doo is my number one all-time favorite cartoon. I love Scooby-Doo.
All right. Well, I'm shocked at that you guys don't have this cartoon at all in your top 5 or honorable mention. It's my earliest memory. He-Man.
I almost had it on my list, but
yeah, I almost got there too.
I loved He-Man. I had all the characters.
Good, man.
Skeletor, He-Man, Man at Arms, Tila, done the right way, not this Kevin Smith thing. And it was so good. The storytelling was good. They even brought Shira in at times, and He-Man would go to her show. But yeah, I remember who was the character. I had the villain who changed faces. Who was it?
I know who you're talking about. I don't remember the character's name, but I know who you're talking about.
And then who was the other? Man Beast? Was it Man Beast or
Beast Man?
Or Beast Man? That's right. And I just love that. Was my favorite show. I mean, my mom still has some of my He-Man toys in El Paso.
I used to love the moments when he would turn into He-Man.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
because you had that great song, He-Man.
Yep.
And the Masters of the Universe.
It was great. And then the only downside to that show, is that Prince Adam already looked like He-Man. There wasn't really any mystery there. Like at least with some of the later versions, they made Adam younger.
But when you're a kid, you don't care.
They did that with the early 2000 show, and then of course they did that with the Kevin Smith show where he's younger, and then when he turns into He-Man, of course he gets bigger and older. So at least I thought that was cool. But at the end of the day, the He-Man cartoon from back in the 80s was freaking fantastic. It
was awesome.
Yeah, it was what was the name of He-Man's tiger?
Cringer.
Cringer.
When that cat went into badass mode.
Yes.
That was fantastic.
He was like this. And I had the cat and He-Man, and you could put the shield on the cat, and
he would be all scared when he wasn't in, super mode, and then when he got there,
as soon as he became Battle Cat, he was ready to go
around. That was great.
Such a good show. So once again, everyone, let us know what your favorite, cartoons on. If I was just listening, I was focused on Saturday mornings, but Batman the Animated Series for me is top of the list if we're just talking about cartoons. Probably my number 2, still behind He-Man. But like
Bob
you guys
brings up
said,
Bob brings up a good point too. I mean, we didn't even get into like when you say the Family Guy. I mean, you could put the Simpsons
yeah,
in there. I mean,
I thought about The Simpsons.
the Simpsons. Okay, should we ask favorite Simpsons character? Can I ask right now? Can I do it? Come on.
I
Go ahead.
mean,
Who's yours?
Homer.
Oh, the comic book guy.
That's funny.
Comic book guy's fantastic. This is the custom item series of the 007 James Bond, originally played by Sean Connery, signed by Roger Moore for an item price of $150.
Bob, who's yours? Mine's Homer.
I'd love to say Homer because Homer's just
Homer's the
hilarious.
Yeah.
But I kind of like Mr. Burns.
Of course you do. Of course
No,
you do.
I just love some of the things that he would do. Like I remember this one where I forget exactly what Homer had done, but what's his name? Burns. He's all upset. He fired Homer, and you see Homer walking out, and he's staring out the window, and he's like, "I can crush him like an ant. I won't. I'll bide my time, and I'll make him suffer. Nah, I'll just crush him like an ant." So then he gets Smithers to hire somebody to go beat Homer.
Hey, sorry, guys.
What happened?
I dropped my keyboard.
I dropped my keyboard.
Yep, sorry.
Anyway, he gets Smithers to hire somebody to go beat Homer, and so but Smithers couldn't do it, and so Smithers comes back, and Burns is like, "Smithers, how did the beating go?" And he's like, "Sir, there was no beating." Judas. You know? I just love Mr. Burns.
Release the hounds.
Release the hounds.
Yes, release the hounds. Yeah, Burns was great. Do you remember the episode when they did that talent show and they're all booing Mr. Burns after his performance, and he says, "Are they booing me or are they saying boo words?" And Smithers is like, "Oh, they're saying boo words," and so then he asks the audience, "Are you saying boo words?" And they're all boo.
I remember one of the original episodes in in 89 or 88. I don't even remember now. It's so long ago that my dad and I were watching, and it was when Milhouse would get sick when he gets on the bus.
Oh,
and they get on the bus, and Bart's like, "You okay, Milhouse?" "Yes." And they drive, and they get to their field trip, and nothing happens. And Bart says, "You made it." And he hits him on the back of the head, and puke.
Oh, I remember that one.
And my dad and I laughed so hard. You made it. Yeah. So I can't remember how many seasons there.
That's
What
my
are we,
buddy's
40
favorite
seasons?
character. Huh?
How many seasons? 40?
Oh,
Something
God.
like that.
Something like that.
That's insane. Could you imagine going back and watching it from the beginning?
People have done it.
God,
I wouldn't
know.
try.
No, I'm good, man.
Yeah.
I'll go back and watch episodes I can find that are my favorites, but I'm not going to slap through all that.
So crazy. So crazy. Well, anyway, guys, anything else you want to add?
No, that's it.
That's
man.
it. Feel like a kid again.
Feel like a kid. This was
Fast
awesome.
food and cartoons.
Yep.
I know.
And talking about school.
Yeah, it's school,
Yeah,
man.
exactly. By the way, honorable mention I just thought of for fast food, Sonic.
Again, hard to find around here, but
Yeah,
Sonic
same
is
here.
good. Yeah,
Same here. The
I had
Tiger
a-
Tots, the cherry limeade.
cherry limeade's awesome.
I had a couple of honorable mentions on my honorable mentions for fast food. I had Wendy's and Firehouse subs.
Never been to
Yeah.
Firehouse.
No, Firehouse is good.
Never been.
Yeah, they had one. Well, they used to have one. Unfortunately, it moved when COVID hit. But they used to have one around down the street from like on the other side of town from the town I live in. It's good. if you can find one, go for
Nice.
it, Josh. And Wendy's is good too. I forgot about Wendy's.
Yeah, love Wendy's.
Yeah, the Frosties.
Frosties with fries.
Frosties are delicious. That was that was sometimes I remember on Fridays, Josh, like when it was, and this was like when it was still like hot and there were monsoons. It was muggy too.
Oh yeah.
On Fridays, I would get a Frosty at Wendy's. It always made
Right.
me feel better.
I'd
I
always
think
dip
they
the
have
fries
solid
in.
burgers too. So
Yeah, they do.
I like their chicken sandwiches. I thought their chicken sandwiches were very good.
They got not so bad fries there too. Their fries are pretty decent.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Like I
solid.
said,
Yeah.
like I said, dip them in the Frosties.
Ew.
You never did that? Did you, Bob?
No. Why would you?
He should have had that on that question about the weirdest food combination list.
Well,
I know,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I mean, that shouldn't surprise us. He's eating
eating
Doritos
fries.
with ice cream.
I know, right? All right, guys. Well, very good. Let's talk about some social media. Bob, where can we find you?
Find me on YouTube. My channel Was It Good? Bob Loves Movies. Also, you can find me on Criticless and X.
Nice.
All our social media will be in the description below.
Derico, what about you?
Well, it might feel like I'm a kid right now, but let's face it, I'm old. Facebook and that.
All right. And me, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm a realtor here in Southern California and a notary as well. Want to buy or sell your home? Give me a ring. All right, guys. Well, then, great job tonight. We will see you guys next week. Don't forget to like and comment and let us know what your favorite fast food restaurants are and your favorite TV show is growing up. Anyway, have a great night. Take it easy, guys.
Thanks,
Good night.
folks.
Bye.